What if I told you that those sudden, random sexual urges you get when you're not even thinking about anything sexual are actually your brain doing its job a little too well?
So, horny brain just means all brain. What's up, guys? Okay. This is Winter Collins here, and I am here to share some very important information to you. Have you ever just been sitting playing a video game and just being like, holy fuck, that dude's hot? Yeah, that's your brain thinking the xenomorph is sexy. And that's because maybe it's just not the xenomorph making you sexy, making it sexy. It's just your body being like, I'm horny right now. And this is what we're gonna learn about today. We got a video here today called Why Am I Always Horny? Sexual Intrusive Thoughts Explained. This video is from the Psych2Go channel. They got 13 million subscribers and we have a lot of interesting and intriguing videos. So I thought it would be cool to take a look at one. And, obviously, I'm the fucking horniest bastard ever when it comes to fictional characters. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it, and I'm gonna figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. Or what is right with me. Let's take a look. Here's their channel in case you want to take a look at more of their stuff. Psych2Go with the number 2 in it. Let's get it. I didn't pause it. Movie magic.
Actually, your brain doing its job a little too well. Maybe it hits when you're scrolling your phone, watching a show, or just laying in bed. I don't
It definitely hits when I'm scrolling my phone. Nothing but mass TikTok and biker TikTok.
care. And you think, where did that come from? We all know that sexual urges are part of being human, but few people realize how fast and how deeply the brain reacts when it feels even a hint of stimulation. Sometimes before you even register what's happening. Let's break down what's going on inside your body and mind when these urges strike out of nowhere. Your brain fires first. Here's something fascinating. Sexual arousal can begin in less than zero point 0.2 seconds, faster than you can blink. That means your brain can light up before you're even aware of what you saw or felt. It literally reacts before you do. A small part of your brain, the hypothalamus, works like an automatic sensor, scanning for cues that might signal pleasure, safety, or attraction.
Wasn't there a thing in, because I had to, if you're a person that went to college, you learn about this stuff early on because you have to learn about like humanity and shit like that. So you learn about the thing, like the needs hierarchy of like human need, and these things are a big thing in our human biology, is that we seek and uh, need a sense of safety and pleasure when it comes to our lives. That's part of what makes our lives better. Um, Attraction, I think, is just for this specific thing. If you're attracted to something, it could be the way that an item looks. It's kind of like, if you think about it, if you look at like a food and you're like, wow, that looks delicious, you think that looks delicious because the thought of the taste and how delicious the taste would be may give you pleasure. On top of that, you have an attraction to how delicious the food looks. Now, think about that in like maybe a piece of art or a car. You look at a really cool car and you're like, wow, I would love to drive that. It would give me pleasure to drive it. It'd make me happy or excited. And because of those things that happen in our brain, the endorphins that we get, adrenaline and all that, if you're a speeder like me, um, you're like, this is awesome. So that attraction comes into, wow, this car is beautiful. It would be so cool to drive it. I think about that every time I see like a really cool sports car or a really cool sports bike, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I had my biking license. But I don't, sadly. So can't do biker TikTok and totally uh, terrify the people that are having thoughts of either gender.
Sometimes that cue is obvious, a scent, a sound, or a passing thought. Other times it's subtle, like seeing warmth in someone's expression or even remembering a touch. And your brain doesn't always wait for permission. It floods your system with dopamine, the reward chemical, saying, "This feels good, go get it." Even imagining touch activates nearly 80% of the same brain areas as real touch. That's why urges can feel so physical, even
I just thought of how, because I'm just gonna say, um, I got 3 new books. Yeah, just because you see certain words and phrases and your mind, if you have a really vivid imagination like my own, um, you see this, you think about it, you can sometimes feel the characters, to be honest, for me, you can feel the characters either touching the other character if you like imagine yourself as that character. It's kind of like how people think, you scroll like TikTok and whatever, book talk, whatever. You scroll those things, and sometimes you get POVs of like someone going like this to the camera, like it's supposed to be down your face. You can kind of feel like a ghost of a touch, or like a hand on your shoulder, like you can do this kind of thing. Like you can feel that ghost touch kind of, and it's kind of like a phantom touch. It's weird to explain. For me, that's how it is. If it's like that for you, then maybe you'll get what I'm talking about. But as for me, I listen to audio sometimes, so and audiobooks, so I can picture things very vividly. If someone explains something like spaghetti in a taco being eaten by a warthog, I can see that in my mind right now. An actual warthog crunching on the taco and spaghetti just falling out of its mouth. That's what I just imagined. I don't know where that came from, but like I can see that. And I can kind of hear it, the squelching and stuff, and like the pig's like little honk kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting if you think about it. If you think about it real hard, things that have happened before that you may have kind of felt. It's kind of like if you get jump scared in a movie, like the creature isn't in front of you, but if you're sitting in the movie, the jump scares you, you can end up jolting back because you're like, oh my god, but it's not actually there in your face. It just happens, and your brain pictures it, if you're like really into the movie, pictures it as if it's real. So it's kind of like that, I think, based on what I'm learning here.
That's why urges can feel so physical, even when nothing's actually happening around you. Emotional triggers disguised as desire. Ever notice how urges seem stronger when you're not feeling your best? Here's the twist: not every sexual urge is truly about sex. Sometimes your brain mistakes emotional needs for physical ones. When you're stressed, lonely, or bored, your reward system craves comfort. A sexual thought or fantasy becomes a quick dopamine snack, a shortcut to feeling good when life feels heavy.
I think, okay, so for people that are like me, that read and breathe and write smut, um, they there's like a moment in time where you're just like, I'm tired of this. It's maybe because we're like burning ourselves out on our dopamine meters. I wonder if that's a thing, huh? And if you're like for some reason a doctor or like a scientist kind of person, or a science medical junkie watching this video for some reason, um hello, thank you, and thank you for your service out there, being smart, unlike me. Then let me know in the comments if that's like an actual thing. If I'm just like instating something new or reinstating something that already exists.
A shortcut to feeling good when life feels heavy. This happens because your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, during both intimacy and emotional safety. So if you suddenly feel turned on during a kind conversation, a hug, or even a movie scene, it might not mean you want sex. It might mean you're craving connection or reassurance. Psychologists call this misattribution of arousal, when physical sensations overlap with emotional ones. Your body's signal for stress, comfort, and attraction often share the same wiring. So when urges appear out of nowhere, it could simply be your brain saying, I need closeness. I need calm. Why you can't just turn it off. Ever feel frustrated with yourself for having an urge at the worst possible time, like during work, studying, or a serious talk? You tell yourself, stop thinking about it, but the thought only gets louder? That's because urges aren't about willpower. They're biological signals, not moral ones. Your brain evolved to make sure the species survives, so those signals can fire even when you're trying to focus on work, school, or just existing.
To have ADHD and this be a thing, it just fucking sucks. I can't, I can't focus in an everyday thing. And then this thing appears and it's just like, I'm here. Why? Why does life have to be so difficult? It's like, this is life. My little, this is an Easter present that I got from definitely the Easter Bunny. Um, this is Snowy, by the way. I don't want the camera to fuck up. So this is Snowy. It's a little dragon. Um, and this is me. This little dragon. This big huge world. Some creature holding me. Life holding me. And it's just like, it's okay. You have ADHD. You could survive. No, I love you. Here's this thing. I'm sorry, Icy. I didn't mean it. Go back up there. There you go. Be a good dragon now. And just chill. I get it. Chill. Icy. I'm so funny.
When you're trying to focus on work, school, or just existing. It's not you being weak, it's your biology doing what it was designed to do. But here's the good news: you can train your brain to handle these signals with calm awareness. Your prefrontal cortex, the logic center of your brain, helps regulate that energy when you acknowledge the feeling instead of fighting it. Think of it like a phone ringing. You can't stop the sound, but you can decide whether to answer or let it go to voicemail. Awareness gives you that choice without shame and without losing control. Mindful regulation. When you get a sudden urge, try this.
I just noticed the cameras. I fucked up the camera focus because I did that. Fixed. Moving on.
Pause and ask, what's my body or mind trying to tell me right now? Maybe you're craving comfort. Maybe you're tired. Or maybe it's just your brain releasing energy. Noticing that moment without shame activates self awareness,
I I appreciate the meme here.
control. Simple practices like mindfulness, journaling, or
Okay.
deep breathing help the body process the feeling instead of letting it hijack you. You don't have to fight your urges, just understand them. Awareness is control in its calmest form. So the next time you feel a sudden sexual urge, don't panic or shame yourself. Your brain is simply sending a message, one that's been evolving for millions of years. Those urges don't define you, they're just signals from your biology. And when you understand what they really mean, you gain control, not by suppressing your desires, but by listening to them with awareness. Remember, you are not your urges. You're the one observing them. So, what about you? Have you ever noticed your urges feeling stronger during certain moods or moments? Share your thoughts below. Your experience might help someone else feel understood.
Very cool. Okay. So that is the explanation there.
Care of yourself. You deserve it.
Aw, thank you, Psych2Go. And there's the people that made this beautiful stuff here. The writer for this, the voice, the person that read it, and the project manager, Cindy. Nice. Okay. Very cool. All right. So let's piece this down into little bits and talk about a little bit of it. I love that this picture was this person just like reading a book because you don't know what kind of book it is. I get you. I understand why you look like that. And we actually have a quote here from 2002. Brain activation during sexual arousal occurs within milliseconds. So it would actually it's like you could get horny faster than you can talk one word. You could just be like sex, or just be or just need. So as the video kind of explained, this is kind of like, oh, you can't see the quote here. There you go. Now you can see it. Oh my god. There we go. Now you can see it. So basically, this is literally like faster than, almost faster than light. I think it's like less than a millisecond that light fills a room, but it's almost like light. That is fast as fuck. And I wish there was an A here because you know why. I said A. I meant am. I-A speed. I'm faster than fast, quicker than quick. I'm your hormonal urges. I kind of already went over this, the pleasure, attraction, safety thing. Again, like, we as human beings, we have needs, and if these needs do not get met, our lives are not fulfilled. Part of that is pleasure and safety, and attraction is obviously like a piece of what this thing specifically entails. I accidentally unpaused it, but whatever. We'll just go to here. So, dopamine, one of the best things that our body always wants, always needs, and we sometimes get a little bit too much of it, to be honest, because I read a lot of books and I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And when I'm, it's like playing too many Call of Duty matches. At some point, you're gonna get pissed off and be tired. So your body is gonna be like, oh my god, oh, I'm so tired, I wanna go to sleep. No, you're not allowed to go to sleep. You gotta finish this match and then go to the next match and keep playing the same way that you're always playing. And I keep hearing like bonking over there, I don't know what that is. But that's not gonna work. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing, remember? So after so many hours of playing a game, you may get very irritable and tired of it. That happens when I play Call of Duty, when I like go up against the same people over and over again, and either I could tell that they're probably cheating, or they just have some kind of mod on their controller or their keyboard, or maybe they're just used to playing fast, or they're playing mouse and keyboard and I'm on controller. I have a little bit of an input delay on the triggers. It's just tiring, and it makes me annoyed after playing the game for 6-7 hours straight. And you're on the same maps, and it gets annoying. Same thing with books. I read the same kind of genre of book. Romantasy is kind of new to me. I haven't read a lot of it. It's like fantasy romance. But I read a lot of dark romance. And the books are great, but after a while, I'm just like, I want this, like, I wish this, like, 10-minute chapter was over already. I'm tired. I don't want to listen to this anymore. You get burnt out. Same thing with dopamine. You can get burnt out on dopamine if you get too much. That's just something that I've noticed, for me anyway. But everyone already knows that if you have too much of a good thing, too much good food, you gain weight. Too much going to the gym, you become anorexic. Too, too much driving around, because that's one of the things that I really like doing is driving around, cruising. You have to pay for gas, you use too much gas, that causes more stress. I have to make more money to get more gas, to calm myself down. It's such a big, whirlwind and cycle of things happening here. And then the more that I drive my car around, the higher of a chance that my car can get into an accident, can have something break on it. Another car can, I've had this happen to me. Another car can fling either a rock or like something that it hits in the road at my car, and then I have to call the insurance company and be like, hey, this car ran over this thing and it flew into my car, and now there's a huge dent in the roof. Yes, that happened. So, too much of a good thing can lead to bad things or just make you tired of it or burnt out. Phantom touches, yes, I can feel it. Can you? Let me know. So many there's so much music talking about this. This damn drug that our brain makes. Oh gosh. Or a body. I guess our body is the brain, and the brain the body. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a health scientist person. I'm an artist. I like music and video games and pretty things. I'm not that smart, but I can teach you how to put a mesh on something, and I can teach you how to make lines into digital lines, and I can teach you how to make a prototype of a game, and I can teach you how to use Microsoft Word. I don't know if I've gone through this. I'm sure I have. Why can't you turn it off? Probably because it would just make life easier. I wish we could just be like, flick, here's a different gender. Flick, here's a different, pay raise. Flick, here's a different job. Flick, here's a different house. Flick, here's a different state. Flick, here's a different law. Flick, here's a different country. Flick, this is now not a piece of pizza. It's a salad. Flick, turn that back off. I am eating no salad. JK, I ate a lot of salads. Again, too much of a good thing leads to a bad thing. I burnt myself out on salads, so there you go. Although steamed asparagus, delicious. And green beans. I don't know why. Those are the things that I'm stuck on right now. Obsessive disorders. JK, it's just my ADHD. Being like, hyperfocus, delicious. So in basics, it's a huge biological signal of our bodies, doing their body thing. Calm awareness comes by when you're doing things and you're just like, that's a thing, just breathe through it. It's kind of like my dog barking in the background when I taught them not to bark at random people already, and because no one's out there to tell them, no, they're not listening. So I'm just like calmly aware of that, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to train them more on that. Dang it. Same thing goes for things when you're like meditating and stuff. You kind of have to have a calm awareness of things around you. Like when I go to do my yoga in the morning on Sunday, it's right outside of like one of the main weightlifting areas. So, before I'm one of those people grunting, no, this is not Planet Fitness or wherever. I'm at LA Fitness, so they do not care. As long as you're not super, super, super over the top. I don't even see them like walk up to people and be like, "Hey, can you like chill?" But when I'm trying to do yoga and do certain poses, I just have to be calmly aware of some dude dropping a weight or someone going, like that annoys me while I'm trying to sit there and like do deep breathing and like stretch my arm like a certain way or like get my body in a certain position and hold it. I just have to have a calm awareness of this person making that noise and then just letting it roll off after the noise is gone. Noise already happened, distracting me for like 5 seconds, whatever. Just get rid of it. That's pretty much what a calm awareness is. Still love this. So, obviously, you don't want to be ashamed of like the things that you're feeling. You're a human. You're going to feel things depending on what you're feeling. Maybe it's morally correct or incorrect. It's really up to you how you view it. If you are self-aware and control the urges that you have, obviously, it's like kind of an intrusive thought. If you see someone that you don't like, you're like, I want to slap this bitch. You don't slap this bitch because then you're going to go to jail. So you control that impulse to slap a bitch and not do it because you're self-aware that that's just going to cause you more pain and harm in your life. So in the end, learn to love yourself. Learn to love the way that your body handles things and understand for yourself that if certain things pop up, just think about it, be like, okay, cool. Let me finish this thing real quick, and then maybe we'll go ahead and, figure out something to fulfill this urge. As they explained it, listen to your body, listen to yourself, figure out what is going to help you get through this thing in your life. And hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight on how to handle what you're feeling. I just thought it was pretty cool. A little more healthy than us looking at people being unhealthy. Anyway, click the like, subscribe button. We'll see you in the next episode of whatever I make. Remember to love yourself. Remember to love your mind and your body. Do some yoga. Eat a good salad. If you're burnt out on salad, treat yourself to a donut and then just count those calories and burn them off in your next gym visit. So, we will see you in the next episode, like I said, of whatever I make. I don't know what I'm going to make. Probably another video kind of like this. I also have some games on deck to play, so I will be also playing those. Stay Frosty Frostback. We'll see you in the next one. I already said that like 4 times. ADHD mind. I almost said Stay Frosty again. Oh god. Anyway,